Welcome to the Our Vision Caribbean and Latino Filmmaker Podcast, hosted by Charles Aline and Dr. Christopher C. Odom. On this episode, we speak with multi-award-winning Haitian actor, dancer, model, stuntman, fight choreographer, and filmmaker Romane Antoine Simon. Romane continues our series From Haiti to Hollywood as he shares his life's journey as an artist through the release of his most recent feature film, #Family Man. #Family Man tells the gripping story of an Indian father's life who is turned upside down when his family is killed in a senseless car accident by a prominent man who was driving while drunk. This episode is sponsored by the Our Vision Caribbean and Latino Film Festival, which is dedicated to ensuring that Caribbean and Latino filmmakers have a voice that's heard and a wide audience to showcase their work.
All right, so I want to welcome everyone to Our Vision Caribbean podcast. Today we have a great filmmaker, Romane Simon. I let Romane introduce himself for you, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself. Go ahead.
First, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. My name is Romane Simon. I am a young Haitian filmmaker, from Haiti, and now living in Los Angeles, just following my dream and, doing all I love.
Oh, that's great. That's beautiful, man. So tell us a little bit, what made you want to become a filmmaker? What was the genesis?
At first it was kind of like something I wanted to try, I always loved dancing. I always loved entertaining people. The idea of when you do something and seeing the surprise or the smile on people's faces, it's kind of like bring me a lot of, enjoyment. So then I got into doing stunts. Then from there, went to the film academy and, wanted to tell more story through moving pictures, stories that matters. Although I do love to do action and horror film, but getting into the industry was, telling stories that matters, like human trafficking, domestic violence, and, things like that matters, So that's what really got me into films.
Man, that sounds really creative. I mean, I love the part where you say you started with stunts. How did that come about? I mean, what was your first movie as a stunt person?
Yeah, in my country, Haiti, there's not really, Haitian stunt out there that's out there like that. So I started doing plays. I started doing Haitian films, and I got into doing stunts. And when people see that, they was like, "Wow, this is amazing! I never see somebody jump off 3-story building. I never, in the Haitian community, the most you will see is somebody rolling down a mountain."
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to change that, and I wanted to change the image and quality on the length that we can go when it's come to creating films, because even though we, it's like a third world country, what we do doesn't have to be third world. So that's what really got me into doing more action, and that's what led me all the way to here in Los Angeles.
Wow, that's really great. So I gather that you started your film career in Haiti before you came to the United States then, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, I started in Haiti. It wasn't something that was easy, especially, of course, my family have different plans. They, growing up in a very different type of family that's, that have a structure, what they want you to do and where they want you to go and things like that. So the first movie I ever seen was an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and then I got to see a Bruce Lee movie, and I'm like, I want to do that, I want to go to Hollywood and stuff. And then I ended up coming to Hollywood, but I ended up at the wrong Hollywood. I was in Hollywood, Florida. I was like, I don't see no stars. I don't see, Jet Li on the street. I don't see, the stars on the streets. I'm like, they were like, no, that's not Hollywood. That Hollywood is on the other side, you know. So then, I made my journey all the way to, to here to Hollywood, California.
Man, I love that story. So now you're in Hollywood. What's your first movie? What's your first movie? How did that come about? Your first movie, and tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, my very first movie in Hollywood, I did. It never came out. And then what will become my very, very first movie is a movie called Life of Gia, about a young girl who lost all her family, and she ended up, becoming a prostitute to pay for college and to also pay for her grandma's heart transplant. So that movie ended up being loved by a lot of people, and it was an underground films, and people were just like, hey, I'm doing, I got this theater, can you come and play your movie? We have an opening night. Hey, I got a restaurant with 20 screens. Can you play a movie? I'm like, okay, now I'm going on mini tour playing the movie for them, because a lot of town people like the movie. And then the second one was Our Way, which is a movie about a couple who moves into a house that is haunted, that was previously occupied by a interracial couple that decided to die in the house because the family that didn't want them to be together. So now you in 2010, there's a new couple moving in, interracial couple, and going through the same thing. So now the ghost wanted to teach them a lesson about, just let love be, and so that was my first and second movie. And then from there, I was like, you know what? I want to go bigger, and I want to just see how far I can take this. And I wanted to go to a lot of seminars. I wanted to go and see a lot of big directors that I follow, and actors I want to work with. So I started making a list. I want to work with this person to start with. I want to work with that person, and then I just keep climbing that ladder.
Man, I love that. I love that you decided that you were going to set a goal and execute it. So you had a plan. It's like, okay, I like these directors. I want to see what they do. I want to work with these guys, and you mapped it out, right? I love that. That's good for people listening to see that you need to plan your stuff. It's not just, okay, I just want to do it and it all just happened. You have to plan stuff. And I like that your story so far is about the human condition, Life About Gia. Is it correct? How did
Life of Gia.
Life of Gia. We're about the struggles of a young girl, that's the human touch. Yeah. And also the ghost, this interracial couple moving into a house haunted by a previous interracial couple, and they have to learn a lesson. Right? Yeah. Life is about learning lessons. And I love that how you construct your movies. Are those movies you wrote yourself, or did you work with people?
Yeah, so those two films, I wrote them myself. I'm also, I also like to write, but when English is not your first language, you gotta send it to a script doctor, because even though now I've been here for 17 years in the US, still I'm from somewhere else. So when I write a script, I send it to a script doctor to check it out, make sure everything goes. So those two scripts, I wrote them. And then by making my goal, and it just keep following. So when I was writing one script, Our Way, I saw this movie with Johnny Depp. It's Pirate of the Caribbean. So there was this guy, he's very tall. His name is Isaac Singleton Jr. And he just stands out in that movie. I was like, I want to work with him. But now that's my very first, second film. I don't know how he will take it, because he's out there. He's already done, Pirate of the Caribbean, Planet of the Apes. So I reached out to him. He was like, yeah, I do the movie. So he ended up doing the movie. Yeah, and he ended up doing the movie. Then after this movie, I set my list. I keep climbing my list. There's this lady named Judy Evans. She's an 8-time Emmy winner from Days of Our Lives, and she was America's sweetheart. And I was like, I want her to play a villain, and I'm not for sale. And she never done anything else unless she's loved and she's that, woman, and then now she came in, she was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then all these things, I'm like, wow, I'm really going through this, because one thing about why I wanted to make the list, because if you don't set a goal for yourself, especially if you're from somewhere else, it's easy for you to lose yourself by trying to catch up with Hollywood, try to catch up with social media, and then you never made a list. You're just there living. There's a party. Okay, you go to a party, you see celebrity, and then, but your main goal you wanted to do, you never really go through it. So
Asking Judy to play a villain was very, very smart. Actors are typically typecast and they want to break out of that mold.
yeah,
And so, of course, she was excited to be
yeah.
able to play a villain. And she was like, yes, what does it be my next project?
Yeah, and she agreed to do it. And then also Sean Ferris, who play a lot of movie like Never Back Down, and he's done a lot of Lifetime movie, and he also get in the movie, get to be in the movie as well. So the more of my story is just like, follow your dream, set your goal, and just no matter what, keep going through it.
So when you first got
I'm sorry, Chris, go ahead. No, go
so
ahead.
when you first got started out, were you bootstrapping, just financing everything yourself, or were you trying to put together a portfolio of investors?
So when I came, what I realized, the first 2 years, a lot of people move in with me, and a lot of these people still with the same script pitching to people, and I've been in LA for 13 years. So when I came in, I was like, okay, I want to bypass all that. I'm going to get a group of people that believe in me, believe in what I'm doing, at least want to add things to their portfolio as well, and put together a team. I'm like, okay, this is the amount of money that this movie have. Let's shoot it. My very, very first movie was like $75,000.
Oh, yeah, that's healthy. Yeah, that's respectable.
Yeah. So, and I ended up making the film and put it out there. People like it. And then the next film I did it. The next film was like 80 grand, and I keep on shooting because I wanted to show people that I can do it, especially now I'm doing bigger things and I get to shoot with $100,000 camera. But when I started, I wasn't, So if I was just pitching one script without people seeing what I'm capable of doing, I probably would still be pitching that script, So I just put it together myself and put together the team of people that really want to get things done, and we make it happen.
What kind of camera are you shooting your films on now?
Right now we're using Arri Alexa and Sony Venice.
Yeah, those are just two beautiful cameras.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Sony Venice is amazing. A lot of the movies that won the Academy were shot on Sony Venice. And I just did a pilot to pitch for Netflix called, Fight Club. And we shot, gonna show some clips of it, and it was shot on the Sony Venice. So, and also I shoot a lot on Red. I'm shooting a film right now, Wedding Vengeance, that is being shot on the Red. So I love shooting on Red and Arri Alexa, especially the Sony Venice.
Man, I love that you had a plan and you executed that plan, because your story seems you had a plan, you execute it, you start to work. I love that. And I think people can get a sense of, if I'm committed to it, I can execute it. If my dream is to become a filmmaker and I just have that filmmaker lens on and I'm working towards it, sometimes that's all you need, And I love that you were able to execute what your dreams, your passion is all about. You say, I want to be a filmmaker. You say, I have this budget. You have a group of people that came together with you to make it happen. And so I guess the story right there, what I'm picking up is that we need a community to help us, right?
Yeah.
We need family to push us forward. And it looks like you had some great people in your corner to push you forward. So when a filmmaker out there is starting out, if you can have that community that can back you, you'll make your dreams happen. Am I sort of like correct on that?
Yes, yeah, and create that community, and don't be afraid to go and lay your plan out to people. You might bypass a few people, but you will find somebody who want to work with you and team up with you. And the same way when I did my very first film, like JP, I don't know, JP, Jean-Philippe.
Yes.
Yeah, we interviewed JP.
Yeah, so he was the first Haitian, in LA to really discover me and put me in the Haitian community because of his own channel, And when he came and he stood by me, and still now, 11 years later, JP is still there. So just get a team of people, because when you started, you might not be able to pay a professional DP $800 a day to shoot, but you can do 400 a day. So you got to lay out your plan, find a way to convince that DP, hey, I'm working on this project. I know you want that amount. I'm not going to disrespect you, but this project, I think this is the reason why I think you should be part of this. This is the message. This is my goal for it. And you never know. If he says no, go to the next person, do the same thing. And you're going to find somebody be like, yeah, I do it with you. Now you got professional DP, you got professional equipment. Now is the actors. You might not have the budget to pay all the actors in the film, but you give them something, be like, yeah, I want to do this, And there are a lot of actors, doesn't matter if they've done big films before, like I've worked with actors who've done big films and but when it's come to your film, you don't have that budget, and you can just give him a reason why he needs to be part of your film. What's unique about it, or you? Why do I need to waste my time putting into you?
The Our Vision Caribbean and Latino Film Festival is the only combined Caribbean and Latino film festival that is Oscar qualifying for short films.
So
have you ever offered the actors deferments, for, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I started, that's how I used to do. And then I would say, hey, I can give you guys money, even though it's what SAG is $100 a day, but I don't call that a payment. I would say, okay, I'll give you some guys money for the day, or make sure they're well fed and everything. And then, you show that the person, you appreciate them, so yeah.
I love that. What you're trying to say is persistence never fails, right?
No.
Persistence never fails, right? So you just pursue it and you're persistent about it, because you say, like, convince, I had to convince, okay, you guys, you have a set price, but I can't afford that right now. So, and if that person doesn't believe in what you're doing, move on to the next person. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Persistence never fails. I love that. And so let's talk about you. So you got these movies now, and I noticed that you have Family Man on your you're wearing Family Man. You have the hat, you have the T-shirt. Let's talk a little bit about that. What is, let's talk about Family Man. What is that all about?
Family Man, it's about the length that one will go to protect their family, including putting your own selves in danger. So Family Man is about this man who lost, who's a family man, wife, kids, working, and his life was destroyed by a drunk driver. And that particular drunk driver is very deep rooted and very powerful in the city. So now he has to go against somebody like that who just killed his family, who get away with it in court. They were like, hey, we can tell it wasn't his fault. He's not guilty. So now you have to convince the city, the town, and also going against his henchmen to get enough evidence to make sure that he, get sent to jail. So it's all about like people who have power, people who influence other people in the city and getting away with things that they're supposed to be punished for.
Wow, that seems incredible, because I know a lot of people go through problems with drunk driving, and everybody face that issue. Let me ask you a question. So when you, as a director, you have your director's cap on, how do you proceed in getting your actors into character? What is it? What's your routine? That's the word I'm looking for.
The way I cast, I make sure that unless I see them on TV and I say I want to work with that person, my main cast never the celebrities or people with big names. They usually come as a co-star or, beside Judy, who I always spend a lot of time with her. Because you never know how easy somebody is to work with. And now if you put your, leading role in that person's hand, and that person is very difficult to work with, your film will be difficult to reach the end. So majority of my actors that I've met them at events, working event. I've met them, in my own space. We do play volleyball, things like that. So you build a relationship with the team you want to build up with you. So now everything only pre-direct because you already have the chemistry with them. Then when you get on set, you lay out, you let them meet. As a director, I like to let them do it first, see what they bring to the table. Then I can adjust if adjustment need to make, or I do it myself. That's the reason why I went to acting school. So that way, if I need you to cry, I will cry with you. And then you get to the wall very fast. There was the movie I was doing. I was holding her hand, and I was like, I understand how you're feeling, blah blah blah. And we're crying, and I back off. I said, action, and then she was right there. So it's about building that comfortability and never make your actor feel bad or less if they make a mistake or that's not how you want it. If it's in the school, okay, you gotta like make sure you're hardcore on them. But when you're on the set, actors are very, very self-conscious. Like, am I doing a good job? Am I doing? And that can also be shown on their face on the screen.
I noticed that your
go ahead.
I noticed
No,
that
Chris,
I noticed that your body of work spans many cultures. Is that a mission of yours, or how did that come about that you land in so many different cultures with a lot of your projects?
One thing I like to do, being Haitian, did it back to how Haitian were the first to be independent. And not only we were independent, we were fighting for different cultures. Whether we go to Venezuela, who were not even, Black, we helped them to gain independence, or whether we go to this country. So I brought this with me because I felt like when you do a project, you reach out to different culture, it's even better in so many different ways. Not only you reaching out to a different country, because you might hire that person and somebody might be following him in Mexico and be like, oh, now there's a new director that's been working with them, So I like bringing people together from all background, size, height, color, everything, and when you bring this colorful masterpiece together, you create something amazing, because all of us are from different places. We bring something different to the table. When I'm doing my thing, I have so much to lose. So I'm bringing my all, and you might be from your country and be like, I'm here in Los Angeles. It's so expensive. It's so hard, to find something. But now I got this. So I have something to bring to the table because I'm doing it with all my heart, So casting more, I like to cast, with multiple ethnicity. I like to do films like Family Man, the lead of the movie are Indian. I want to tap into the Indian market. I love the Indian market, and Mr. Shetty and his family were the mom, daughter, husband, and the movie. All of them were one family that doing acting, So I wanted to bring that culture into what I'm doing. And also, of course, it's a bridge I'm building. A bridge, and I want to connect it as many places as I can.
It also doesn't hurt that there's almost 2 billion people in India.
Yes. The market over there is huge. If you make it in India, like everybody, because the Indian market, they love you, but like whether you're Black, you white, you're from a different country, they want to see what you have to offer. So that's why you see a lot of American now doing movies in India. Jackie Chan doing movie in India. So many people are doing movie in India. So that's a market I definitely wanted to tap in. And Family Man, I think we want to take it as far as we can with this one.
You know what I usually say, human emotions are universal, right? Regardless to what ethnicity you love, you hate, you die, and you're born. And that's the human condition. So regardless if you're Black, white, Hindu, that's your experience. You're going to love you're going to hate. So the human experience is universal. And if you can make that connection where you have this multicast group of people working with you, I think that's really great. I think what the world needs is more connection. You know, I don't think we should isolate ourselves, you know, because we are human. Yeah, at the end of the day, we are human beings, regardless, right? And I think you doing that to be at the forefront is something that needs to be respected and to be cheered on. So I'm glad that you're doing that. I'm glad that you have that type of mindset to be included, you know, to have inclusion. You know, that's really great. So where can we see Family Man? How's that doing? Where is it on video? Is it on demand? Is it going to be in theaters? What's you know, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Family Man is not out yet. I want to start doing premieres. I plan to go on a mini tour with Family Man, play it in different states, and then go to India and do the same thing. So the actor that plays on Family Man has some connection out there for theater in India. So we've been talking about, you know, getting it in theater over there. So of course, you know, I have the backup plan of where my other films went, you know, like Amazon, you know, Fandango, Voodoo, Tubi, things like that. But, you know, before I do that, I want to, you know, do a mini tour with it and trying to reach out to as many people as possible. And also partner up with some organization, you know, like, you know, that really focus on people who lost their family, domestic violence, which is also in the movie, and drunk driving, things like that. So, you know, like
for your mini tour, were you going to focus on a limited release, or were you thinking about taking it out on the festival circuit first and generating some buzz?
Yeah, so that would be selected theater.
Okay, so limited release.
Yeah, limited release. Yeah, so I have a few that's already set, especially in my coaching, because I have two actors that play in the movie that are very well known in the Haitian community. Mika Ben, you know, rest in peace. He's in the movie. He's very well known in the community. Olivier Duret also. So I want to bring that to the Haitian community as well, you know, because not a lot of Haitian that live Florida or Haiti to come to LA to do a film. So I was able to bring, out of bringing so many culture into this film, I was able to bring two, you know, very amazing, talented artists from my country to come to LA and be in the film.
Man, I know you're one of the hardest working men out here as an independent filmmaker. I sort of love that. And I know you have another film that I want to talk about called Not for Sale. And the reason why I want to bring that up, we have a film, you know, Song of Freedom out right now. It's talking about child trafficking, but I know yours talk about human trafficking, correct?
Yes, yeah.
So let's talk about that. How did that came about, and you know, where's the status on that particular film? What's the status? Sorry, in that particular film.
This film, it's something different, you know, about it, because I wanted to do something. I grew up with a lot of sisters, so and when you see right now young women are getting snatched off the streets, you know, they like targets, you know, and I wanted to do my part, you know, has a brother and has a son and has a cousin, and you know, I wanted to do my part to tell a story, you know, and shed light where there's no light, because that's not something that people are talking about. You know, it's not the first on the news or anything. Like, oh, some kids just get missing, and then we'll go about talking about the Kardashians and talking about what celebrities are wearing and who they're dating. But these are not, you know, forward, you know? So, and I feel like if that was the number one topic we talk about, more people will see the faces of the kids, more people will see, you know, if you see something, you'll be like, oh, wait, I think I just see that girl on TV, you know? But if you just show it very quick and then boom, you go about your business and talking about, you know, different news. And I wanted to do my part, and I wanted to tell the story as greedy and as real as possible. And when I was casting, the casting was challenging because the lead actress had a breakdown 3 before filming. and have to go back, to Africa. And then I get to hire another actress, and Dennis Melfort, and 3 days before, and she just prepped and did it. So I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to shed light on the most disgusting and horror behind human trafficking. So that's what you're gonna see. We have like 32 girls that was, we locked into one section, and we wanted to bring everybody to be like, okay, we're gonna tell a story, and I want to work with you because I know it's something about human trafficking. If you feel at any point you need to stop, if you feel at any point you need to break, things like that, because I know it can take a toll. Because even me, there was a part in the movie I get very emotional because it's like I was watching it happening. There's a girl who was getting punished, and I saw previously, girl that was found, and all the marks in her body, and then it just somehow it hit me, and I was like, okay, this is something that we have to push as far as we can. This is a film I want to take to film festival. Then I want to do a mini tour with it, like selected theater, and I want to push it as far as to see if I can get, I'm going to be working with different organizations that work with survivors of human trafficking to also play the movie, and different places, and see how we can, get everybody to see the real horror behind human trafficking, and why we need to fight harder to make it, to stop it.
I can
Man, I'm
definitely
glad.
appreciate that your body of work addresses very heavy stakes, compelling subject matter. You're not just out there trying to entertain people. You're trying to shed light on topics that matter and that people care about, and you're actually out there trying to contribute to society. And I definitely want to applaud and celebrate that in your work.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Man, you're a true Renaissance man. You know what I mean by that? You do a little bit of everything. Because I also know that you're a novelist too. You wrote a book, correct?
Yes, I wrote a book. This one, it's like one thing I'm fascinating by the horror world. Especially I was raised in it, raised around it. So I wanted to do something, about love and sacrifice, and that's what comes with Wed to Black, the Power of Love. It's about young, a young vampire family that's been living, in secrets until love exposed them. A lot of time you're in your comfort zone, and then you just get involved with someone, and it uncovers so many layers of what you wanted to keep a secret, or so many layers of your peace, disturb your peace. So I've been betrayed a lot when it's come to relationship, and I wanted to tap into that, because when you get vulnerable, you put yourself out there. You say, okay, I want to be loved. Even though we men, we're very strong, we things like that. We never were told we can talk about when we get a heart broken, like what to do with that. So if you really, really want to be loved, if you were just, okay, I'm just gonna do this and then we see where it goes. But if you really invested your time and be like, okay, I want to love this person, and now I'm putting my all into this person, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Okay, you can move on. But if it's a betrayal, then it becomes very hard for you to move on, because you become this person that doesn't want to trust, and that's what I had to go through. I went through that for 3 years because I used to have a daughter, and my daughter was 7 years old, and then the mom just told me, oh, I'm sorry I did that to you, a very nice person, blah blah, but the kid is not yours.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. So then that's my daughter. I love my daughter, and I took my time. I would do her hair. I would do this. I'm making sure that she knows that I will always be there for her, and I will always remind her, because I wasn't there in the beginning of her life. So I wanted to make sure that I always give that to her. And then I lost her, and then I had to fight with the city for 2 years to tell them I want to continue to be her father, and they took her from me and give to the system because the mom wasn't fit to be a mom, So I'm like, now I don't think I ever want to love again, you know? So I'm like, okay, I want to find somewhere to drive all this into. There's more to my love story, but, you know, I wanted to tap into that real quick for Red to Black, the power of love. So red represent love, and at the same time represent what you bled, you know, if you get cut because of love, you know, and black represent the dark side of love, you know, whether it's abusive, whether it's verbal, you know, whether it's somebody put you in child support because, you know, they're mad at you, you move on, you know, like there's so many things behind Red to Black. So, and the power of love, you know, so I wanted to write a book about it, but in a vampire way, because us as human, we don't suck the blood out of each other, but we have the power to suck the energy out of each other. That's energy vampire, you know? So I wanted to write about that. Man.
Man,
Each year, our vision will screen the winners of the short film categories live in theaters on both coasts for 1 week as part of the requirements for Oscar consideration.
Go ahead,
No,
Chris.
a love story set in the world of vampires is definitely something that you could be pitching to Netflix. I've actually watched some of those series, and so yeah, that's definitely something that people are watching now.
Yeah, people want me to do a film about it, but if I do a film about it, I don't want to do it with low budget. I want to get the proper people to work on it, you know, like actors that, you know, have the capability of bringing that story to life. You know, when you're watching vampire films, what makes, you know, the vampire films big is really the actor and how people fall in love with them, you know, and that requires budget.
Have you ever considered doing a series?
I'm open to that. I have 3 parts to the film. I wrote 3 scripts about it. So we have part 1, part 2, part 3, but also that can break down into a full season if you do an 8 episode.
So 1 movie is 1 check. That's great. You know, 1 streaming series is 9 checks each season.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm open to that. You know, I'm kind of like don't want to rush into that one. So that way I can, you know, if it's Netflix, I get behind it. Then they can give the budget for that, you know, because that's not something you want to do for 10 million, you know. So yeah. So
Man, it looks like you deal with some heavy subjects, right? I mean, you just talked about, you were very vulnerable and honest in sharing your experience about your daughter. And I mean, that's what's the word I'm looking for? That's heavy. So you as a person, you need to unwind. What is your sport that you do? Have a sport or something where you can just sort of like relax and like I also know you were into mixed martial arts. Is that a form for you to just, you know, come down? Is it gives you peace or something? Like, could you talk a little bit about?
Yeah, and a lot of social media video you will see me dancing. Dancing is one that always make me happy. Even if I'm on set, there's something that's stressing me because, you know, sometimes people show up late and you're paying the crew or the location by the hour. So I usually don't get mad easy. I would just dance, you know, or swim. Those things help me a lot. Martial arts definitely helps me a lot, you know, or I just write, you know, because when I came here, there are times that, you know, you think that, okay, did I make the right move? You know, but if you just stay with that, then that's exactly what's always going to be in your mind. So I never stress about anything. You know, I can just do a meeting right now, and then the person be like, no, not ready for that yet. And then I move on. I said, thank you for your time, and just keep moving on. So anything that has to do with sadness or betrayal, anything like that, just find something that can help you, because if you keep all in your head, all the stress in your mind, stress is like a virus. And you see how when virus hit a computer, it slows down the computer. That's how stress is. It messes up with your brain. Then you're gonna start forgetting about your key, where you put your key or your phone, and that's when you really know. You just have to find your happy place, And so to some people, it could be a meal. To some people, it could be yoga. Just you gotta find it. And I had to find it because I did 3 relationships that literally wanted to drive me crazy. You have a daughter you've been loving, you lost that daughter for the first time. Because me, I was never somebody who has emotion. Like I grew up where my dad was working, with governments and stuff like that. They took American took the president and shipped him somewhere else. Now they went after everybody that works for that government. I on the street as a child, 5 years, I seen people getting burned in front of me, people getting killed in front of me. So I grew up with that thing. They can say a family member died. I will go, but I never really feel it really until I lost my daughter, and all this emotion just come crashing down on me. It's like I was broken, and I didn't know what to do. I almost fall into drugs. I did it for one day. A friend of mine gave me something that I lost 3 days out of my life. I shaved my head. I was hallucinating. I was saying things. So that's how hard it hit me. Because imagine, you love this person and you lost that person, and that's your first daughter, So I had to find a way, and you see my thumbs. I was keep on doing this, and then before you know it, I had no skin on my tongue. So then and then I was introduced to words, and I was introduced to dancing, and I was introduced to swimming, and that helps me a lot.
So being inundated with atrocity at such a young age can cause some people to disengage from life. But you became more engaged in life and became an artist. What was it about you or your mental constitution that made that background make you want to engage more and go in a different direction of success and bringing something of meaning and light to the world?
Yeah, because it doesn't matter how you want to make change, you can be outside of the field and still play the field. So I wanted to make change in the politics of my country and how women and kids, are paying for all the mistakes that the politicians are making, or men who has a family go out to find jobs and never come back home because he involved in manifestation and, marching to, for change. So I wanted that, but at the same time, I didn't want to lose myself, because in some ways you will lose yourself if you pursue politics in my country, So I wanted to help people. I wanted to entertain people. I wanted to make people smile and make people happy. So I have to think, I'm like, how am I going to do that? So then that's how it comes about film. I can make changes. I can be a voice for the voiceless. So I do films about, human trafficking, domestic violence, drunk driving, things that destroy family. Like somebody never know, like how you can destroy a family if you get behind a wheel while you're drunk. It's okay. Car, get told it's okay. Take an Uber. Or human trafficking. How we need to work hard, because we never know how hard and how fast and how close he will hate you until it's the neighbor's kids or until it's somebody in the family member. So I wanted to tell those stories because those are things I don't want to happen to my own family, my friend's family, or anybody around me or in the world in general. So I wanted to take a different approach and being a change and be somebody that wanted to help people. And music and film is very powerful. People watch these things and people be like, wow, that's what these kids really going through. Or you listen to this music, wow, I feel it. I feel the love. I want to send that to somebody I love. And then they will hear the music and they can be like, wow, I feel you, So I wanted to be different. I wanted to be involved and change in a different way. And I choose entertainment.
And that's I'm listening to your story. I need to, commend you, because what I'm getting from that, you're not saying I'm a victim, but you're a survivor. right? What I love about that is that you're saying, I'm a survivor. I'm here. I'm doing what I need to be doing. I'm doing what I need to be doing right now, right? So that is really, people that are listening to this, is about the man is a survivor. You know, he's working towards his goal and his dreams. And I love that you share that with my audience, you know, to come on here and be so honest and vulnerable. I commend you. And I truly
talk about these things. I
never
talk about these things.
I truly appreciate it, man. So I just wanted to make sure I let you know your honesty and your vulnerability coming on our show, our podcast. So I want our audience to know how much we appreciate what what you shared with us. And, so thank you again. And also, just to go on that, as a survivor, where you at now? Because I know you started a company, like a studio. How's that fitting into your whole plan?
Yeah, so when I came here to LA, my goal was to own, there's three things I wanted to own in LA. I want to own a restaurant in LA, and I want to own a building. I want to own a production building. That was the plan. And I also want to own an apartment, for artists, that move to Los Angeles and can afford a lot, and then we can have a luxury apartment, because artists, you have to be able to have a place where you can, think, and you can be happy, and at the same time, not too much worry about a lot of expensive. So that's still in the work. And that's my list. I'm going through it. So this year I was able to get a building and have a nice team with me, two other gentlemen, Phil and Brian, and we say, hey, we're gonna get a building and we're gonna build a production studio. So now we, the only Black person in downtown LA to own a big building and that also have parking lot, and that building, I want to use it for indie filmmakers that not able to afford how expensive it is to shoot at a studio. And you can come to Lucky Strike from studio, and we can give you good deal where you can accomplish what you want to accomplish, but without spending an arm and a leg. So in the studio, we have a big event space if you want to do screening, fashion show. And if you want to shoot, in a warehouse, we have that. We have jail cell, hospital room, bedroom. We have a tunnel. We have a bar, a couple things. So just there's a part of things I wanted to do to contribute to the world of entertainment, contribute to the world of arts. Because when I started, I realized how expensive it was to rent a studio to shoot, because that's where most of your money goes, and to location. You can find people to shoot for you for free, but it's not easy to find a location for free because the people are paying for that. So now owning this building, I've already been shooting with so many young, filmmaker that didn't per se have a big budget for location. And now they can come, they can create set. We can break down sets and create another set you want, all in one location.
What is the name of your studio?
It's called Lucky Strike Production.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm very happy about that. That's something I can course. I definitely want to expand, do a bigger studio, but now having a big open, big studio, to start with, I'm very happy about that.
So if somebody wanted to book your studio or get in touch with you about the studio, how would they do that?
They can go to Lucky Strike Production on Instagram. They can send an inbox, or they can, send me a message on my page, Romane Simon official, and I, receive it and invite them to come and check out the location. And from there, we can talk about schedule and, what your budget you're working with.
Yeah, cool. I really appreciate you coming in on the show. Do you want to share with our audience something that they don't know about you? Something that, let's say, would surprise them? Would you want to share something, because I know you were honest with yourself. Would you want to share anything that, wow, I didn't see that coming, that came out of left field, something that the world don't know about you that you would love to share?
There are a few. I don't know. There are a few. I do martial art. I'm specializing and weapons, and I'm a great cook. I don't know. You don't have to ask me a question. I don't know. Yeah.
You
So
know, I know you're a Haitian and you came here. What is your Haitian roots like? What's your family? What, tell me a little bit about your Haitian roots.
um I was raised in a family that I'm very proud of, because they stands for change in their own way, even though that also can be a lot of challenge, like my great grandfather was, president of Haiti, François Antoine Simon. That man, I looked up to him a lot because he was the first to, and to invented a lot of things in Haiti, like railroad or lights, electricity, things like that. Then going back to my dad, who works in the palace for multiple different presidents, and that what led us here. One of his president, Aristide, when they when they deported him to a different country, and he ended up had to flee and come here, and then to give us, get us out and give us a better life. So I was, proud and love my dad and my whole family and what they accomplished. So, and that's also something I bring to the table, because when I do films, people never know until they see me just grab somebody and flip them over my shoulder, and the person landed and not hurt. They'll be like, how you know how to do that? So I bring my military background from my country into films as well. So when you see me doing an action film, I visualize everything and I paint that picture for the cameraman and for the actors, and to be able to, to bring that vision to life. So yeah, I'm very, very proud, very happy of the Simon family. I've never talked about this thing, so
I
like
hear.
people just know me as a filmmaker. They never know my political background or anything like
All right, man. I mean, no, they know because you're on our show.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, we we love it that you came on here again and just shared everything with us. And I'm looking forward to what's in the future for you. You have the studio happening. You have some films that you have Family Man. You have some stuff that you're working on now. I mean, the future looks really bright. I love that you came on here and you're like sort of inspiration for filmmakers. People that's going to see this is going to say, "Wow, this guy went through a lot." He had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of hurt, but he's still there. He's still trying, and
I
that's
have
what it's all about.
a lot of reason, when did it back to when the country was burning down, after Aristide, I was on the street for a week,
Mm,
very small child. I was on the street for a week,
Wow.
dodging people throwing rocks, people burning people killing people. And I was just, sleeping in somebody's balcony in the front, and just like that's where I find my comfort and just stay there as a child, you know. And to now to a country that I only saw on TV, to Hollywood I only saw on TV, So it gives me so much more reason, and also it humbles me because I know where I came from. I've been to many side of I've been where I grew up in a big house, and then I also lost everything, and just be on the street as a child, But as a child, I was always see myself as a regular person. Doesn't matter who my family was. I was always talking to the regular kids. I was always, wanted to be human, and when I came here, that helps me so much as well, because I wanna treat people the way I wanna treat people the way I wanna be treated, and I wanna, my story and my upbringing, and I want that to shine, into what I want to do in the future, whether it's telling a story, whether it's opening a center, because there's a lot of things I want to do for my country, opening orphanage, pharmacy, for in a clinic for women and children without support, So there's so many things I want to do, but I have to leave that part and go somewhere else, explore and create a legacy. And with that legacy, that can allow me to do everything else I want to do.
Brother, your heart is in the right place. That's all I'm saying. Your heart is in the right place. And I want to thank you for coming on the show today. It was very inspirational. I'm looking forward. You give us words of wisdom. That's what I like. So people that are listening to this podcast is going to take away something. You give everyone something that they can lean on and hold on to. So I appreciate that you coming on the show and talking to us. Thank you very much.
And I really appreciate you.
And Roman, I'd like to add that speaking to you now here on Zoom, the depth and dimension of your artistry and human experience, your journey is so rich and vast. I'm just so grateful that you came here today to share that with our audience. They're truly blessed to be able to listen to this conversation with you.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for taking the time. And you guys are doing amazing things as well, especially, looking for creators and give them a platform. JP, who has a platform, and bring him into your show. So I really appreciate what you're doing, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you. Whenever you guys in LA, if you guys in LA, just let me know, and I cook some Haitian food.
Awesome.
I'm going to keep you to that word, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, you too. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Click the link in our profile now to submit your film to the next Our Vision Caribbean and Latino Film Festival to share your work, reach your audience, and turn your dreams into reality.